Awesome. This looks like it's recording. So, yeah, I'll kick this off. I want to introduce everybody to Brooks and Brown. I'm Brooks. Other screen is Brown. Say hi, Brown.
Hi, Brown.
Um, we were formerly the Redzone. We've posted a lot of medium content, blog content for football related things. We're very passionate about the NFL, NFL draft, the combine, fantasy football, free agency, like looking through that, but with the eyeballs of like, what's it like for you and me to find out what we can find out? Like, we're not insiders, we don't have connections, and that's okay. That doesn't mean it's any different. So, what's that like for a normal fan and to get that out there? So we've done that previously. So we used to be the Red Zone. Today we're kind of transitioning. You'll see it. It's going to be called Backyard Talk. We call it BYT. This is our evolution into kind of YouTube and video content versus just solely being written down. So I'll jump in first really quick. My name is Jacob. We go by Brooks here for me. Big time Eagles fan. I got the DeJean on, Super Bowl pick six, got the dub. That's how it works overall. But I'm a huge football fan. I'm a defensive guy. I love defense, love safeties, love corners. I watch as much as I can watch. I figure it out from that standpoint. I coach my son in football. It is what it is. So that's me. I'll pass it over to Brown for you.
Yeah, guys. My name's Nick. I go by Brown on here. I'm a big Carolina Panther fan. Been a Panther fan since the inception, '95 when they played in Clemson. We're gonna get started while doing a little mock draft. We're gonna pick picks 1 through 8, alternating. I have odd, and Jacob has even. Once this goes on YouTube and everything, if you're watching, leave a comment. We're gonna work on an email address so you can send us email questions, anything like that. We are kind of doing it. Pull the curtain back a little bit. We're doing it on a Google chat. And then eventually, if it goes big, we might invite some fans to watch and interact with us on a Google chat. We can chat with them live and everything. So this is live for us. You guys will be watching it later on, hopefully. Like and subscribe. I'm not going to say smash that like button or anything, but
hopefully soon. Yeah, no, I think Nick brought up great points on all that stuff, guys. Like this is us kicking into it, so we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna go from there.
Grassroots over here.
What we really want ultimately is actually that live chat with you all being able to live, and I would see it or he would see it, and we can chat through those pieces there. Think of this as just like you're hanging out with your buddies.
Backyard talk. Having some brews.
Exactly. That's the name. Backyard talk. You're hanging out. There's a fire pit back there, and you're just chilling, and you're talking football and the new moves. And this is not the conversation for today, but an example of this that I haven't even shared with Brown yet is Vic Fangio apparently is in retirement. That's a big deal to me. I have a lot of thoughts on that. That's not our today conversation. So I'll jump into that. So for Nick and I on this, we're going to be using PFF, Pro Football Focus. I know there's a lot of people that hate it. There's a lot of people that love it. For Nick and I, for Brown and I, like, we're not saying this is the ultimate all be all perfect statistical thing. We use it purely for an idea of like how to think through things. So today, what I'm gonna share in just a second, I have a mock draft pulled up. We're doing picks 1 through 8. Nick has odds. I've got evens. You'll see it on the screen. It'll kind of show you what they're thinking through. We're going to talk through the picks that we're making, and we'll go from there. But just as a heads up, we do use this as like a talking point, not a end all be all that they're the best platform that's ever lived. So
I will say they're the easiest platform. I will give
they are very easy. I love a lot of things they do, to be honest, but some people hate it and some people love it. So if you're a PFF hater, just know we're not living by PFF guys.
You know what you use for a mock draft simulator.
Yeah, exactly. Like send that over. We've used a bunch of different ones. So All right,
So today we're going to be going through Vegas, New York Jets, Cardinals, Titans, New York Giants, Browns, Commanders, and Saints. That's the first 8 picks we'll be doing today.
Can you see that?
Yep, I can see it.
Cool. And just like Nick mentioned, we're doing 1 through 8 today. I have this pre-set up. So we're doing 1 through 8 at the moment. We're not doing any trades today. I know trades happen. Nick and I love the trades. We like to hypothetic trade on some of these. Later we may do that a little bit more and like talk through it. Or if you have a thought on like, oh, you got to trade out of this spot, like feel free to comment or chat on that, and we'll work through it. But for today, no trades. Pick 1 through 8, starting with Brown. Go.
Well, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. They're on the clock. They're in the division with Patrick Mahomes. They're in the division with Justin Herbert and now Bo Nix. You've got to get the quarterback position right. I don't care if they take a quarterback next year. You know what I mean? That's the one position other than head coach. And at the time of this, it's February 1st. They have not gotten a head coach. There's rumors out there it's going to be the guy from Seattle. So right now I'm going Fernando Mendoza, quarterback.
So I'm gonna take him for you. So he's off the board. I think my 2 thoughts on this. I told you we're not going to do like a crazy debate on these at the moment. This is just kind of dipping our toes into the water of getting out here with everybody. I don't think that's the wrong pick, but what I don't like about this is their offensive line is not even remotely close to what it needs to be to support. I chatted with you earlier. Mendoza going to Vegas gives me Derek Carr and David Carr vibes of you've got the talent. I don't think the quarterback's the problem. I think he's got all the talent in the world, but I think he's going to get sacked 40 times, 50 times next year. And so it doesn't matter.
Go with Genty, Bowers, and I think they have a lot of money in cap space to fix that offensive line. They could get out of this. This could be a weird one, but
the offseason,
yeah.
The offseason could be really good for them, meaning if they really take it serious, there's a chance they could do all this before the draft or have a plan that they're going to like figure it out post draft, like while they're doing this. And that's the idea. We're going to do drafts of this is all pre-combine, pre-everything. I absolutely love the combine. I know Nick loves that as well. It's one of the things. I think that's where you find diamonds in the rough. You kind of learn a little bit more about them. So we'll have a different version of this later, is what I'm saying.
All right. Pick number 2, the New York Jets. Jacob, who are you going with?
Or
excuse me, Brooks, who are you going with?
Well, we're going back and forth. It's all good. We'll figure out if we want to go by first names or last names. But man, I think when I'm looking at the Jets, it's just truly, and I apologize all the Jets fans out there. What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, I heard myself, I think. My direct neighbor is a diehard, and he's older than I am. He's been a Jets fan for a long time. So I totally feel for the Jets fan base in this scenario, but I have to be honest. I don't know what it is. You guys cannot draft and build a team worth a damn. So it's really tough to make this pick because I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence at the end of the day that you're going to cultivate this draft pick into the right person. For me, it's between, if you're using the PFF rankings on the screen, it's between Ruben Bain and then Arvell Reese. Out of the 2, I'm a defensive guy, so they're both defensive people. I'm a D-line guy. I love that in corners. So for me, I'm going to go Ruben Bain on this. I'm not going to click the button just yet. I'll let Brown give a chance to, if you got a thought on this, but it seems easy. It's the right pick here. I just think he's the most talented player. He's a D-line guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fits into my philosophy of how to build. And I think the Jets need to get meaner and nastier, and I think that's the guy.
No quarterback in that position you're going up against. Drake May and Josh Allen as of right now. And Tua, that's that's another conversation for another day. But right now,
Yeah,
Drake May and Josh Allen are carrying it. You know, Drake May in the Super Bowl right now. So yeah, I have no argument there. Ruben Bay Jr. This is first of their, one of two picks. They've got a lot of ammunition. This is
they got
also a thing where they could trade back and accumulate more and look for a quarterback next year. But it's time they can build the offensive line, which I think they have. It's time to build up the defense. So
I think they need a quarterback. So if we're diving deep on them, I think they need a quarterback. I just don't feel great about the current quarterbacks
not at
after
two.
Mendoza, and especially not at 2. So if you're gonna do it, I agree with you. I think it's a trade back scenario. I don't know how far you trade back, but it's a trade back scenario. You look for that quarterback and then work on
Stockpile for next
yeah,
year in the draft when the quarterbacks are better.
yep.
So
On to pick 3.
Arizona Cardinals. I told Brooks here my big prediction for this year is the Cardinals. Kyler Murray would be traded to Pittsburgh Steelers. As of right now, that hasn't happened yet, but I'm gonna stake it right now and say that. But at 3, there is not a quarterback available to take. I am going to take the best player and the best player in this draft right now, and it's kind of setting up as a successor role. Jacob don't even know where I'm going at with this, but I am going Caleb Downs, safety for the Arizona Cardinals.
I feel you. Okay. I actually, when you said I'm taking the best player in the draft, even though we didn't talk about it, I do agree with you. I think he's the best player in the draft. It's a weird spot at number 1 pick. I could,
And the position.
I could halfway see him maybe going to the Jets too, but at 3, I feel like
Pair him and Buda Baker up in the back end.
if we're not doing trades, which we're not doing,
right,
dude, this dude is an absolute beast. So one thing we'll do for some of this, like I said, whether you love it or hate it, it's the PFF version of this. But this is a 6 foot, 205 guy, and he was absolutely the best player in college football last year. It just happens to be a position that's not quite as flashy as a quarterback or a running back or receiver, if you will. Me being a defensive guy, I want him on the Eagles tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is the guy I think makes a ton of sense. Now for Arizona, I do think they got to figure out their quarterback, and there's a few pieces there, but I have no qualms with taking this pick. So I'll hit it for you right now with that. So yeah,
right.
Caleb Downs. All right.
Now we got Tennessee Titans here. New head coach Robert Saleh coming in. Cam Ward coming in.
Defensive guy. Yep. Cam Ward's there.
In that division, you have got C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. Don't know what the Colts are going to do, if it's going to be Daniel Jones or Richardson coming back or somebody new. So
this one's interesting to me. If you use what PFF is saying with their needs, it's up top here: running back, receiver, a couple different offensive line, a defensive line. This doesn't line up. The only player that lines up right now is David Bailey, I think, is the edge defender here. But if it's me, I want better stability on the offensive line. So I'm going to switch this right now, and I'm going to go to interior. They got him rated at 22. You can take that again. Like I said, we don't use these as like end all be all ratings.
no,
but
this is all at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think a tackle or a guard, but I really dig. I'm gonna miss his last name. I don't know if it's Ione Long. It's like a weird last name, so apologies there. But the Penn State guard, I've watched a little bit of video on this cat. He's big, strong. I want him in Philly, so I'm like drafting these guys of like, would I want them in Philly? This is a guy I want on my team right now. We don't have this pick, so I'm picking this for Tennessee, and I'm going with this pick right here. which jumps us to the Giants. Now that I think about it, I'm glad you got odds because I don't want to pick for the
You don't want
anybody.
to.
Yeah.
Well, the Giants have a new head coach in John Harbaugh. He is getting a defense that they have spent heavy, heavy draft capital on. Trading for Brian Burns, former Carolina Panther, Florida State. Thibodeau last
player.
year. God, I'm blanking on his name. Abdul Carter, excuse me.
Yeah.
You've got Jackson Dart, and you've got Cam Scattaboo. Malik Neighbors is coming back off injury. The line was okay. You know, the tackle situation, I believe it's the right tackle, is a little up in flex at the time. But I'm going to see how Jackson Dart handles everything. And I'm going with the Ohio State wide receiver, Cornell. What's his last name? Tate. Yep, I'm going him.
So this is a guy, if I'm looking at it again, like just for the viewers, like if you're looking at it, the reason I share it, it looks like he's progressed for all 3 of his years there. I've watched a little bit of it, but I mean, that's a 6'3" receiver is pretty solid. You know, if you're looking at it.
Malik Neighbors.
I think this is a guy that oh man, who did I turn it? What's the announcer? Here's a guy.
Collinsworth.
Yeah, I went Collinsworth on that. Apologies there. But what I was trying to say is, I think this is a guy that we would look at post combine. I want to watch him at the combine because being 6'3", that's fairly tall for a receiver. His weight looks like it's a little under, like for the size. That doesn't mean good or bad. I want to see how he runs his routes. I want to see how he goes. But I do agree with you. If New York can get a guy that can catch that helps Malik Neighbors, I think it could be dangerous. And I hate that for an Eagles fan because I don't want them to have any additional weaponry around them at all. So I don't like this pick for me greedily, but I think it is a very smart pick. So I'll go for that on with you. So Cornell Tate.
All right. Now we have the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, this one's interesting. They're all over the map with coaching right now. And
yes, they hired their coach.
They did, but I just mean I think they're one of the franchises conversation I've had with you previously. And funny enough, I had them both. The Jets and the Browns. I'm not picking on you guys, but y'all's franchises are in shambles. And I don't know what it is, but you can't get out of your own way for draft picks, coaches, whatever it may be. There's just something weird happening in these franchises. So it's really hard to pick for the Browns. That being said, I don't hate Shedeur Sanders. I don't know that they got the receiver help around him at the moment.
But you can go into it this year and say, all right, this is your year. Prove us wrong.
Exactly.
Next year, you know.
You kind of got one there. I like Jim Schwartz. There are rumors that he might be in play for Philly again if Fangio goes out. But all things aside, the Browns have had a good defense. They've been doing great. Myles Garrett had a phenomenal year and was breaking records and all that stuff. So while I think Arvell Reese is the best player on the board at the moment. I think he probably should be the one if you're just doing it based off of talent. I just don't know that he's the move for Cleveland at the moment. So I'm going to throw a curveball on this one. I'm actually going to go with the next receiver on this because I want to give Shedeur Sanders a chance to have an additional target. I really feel like this past year they didn't have anybody to throw to and it wasn't consistent. So similar to kind of what we just did with Malik Neighbors, give them an additional target to go for. So I'm going to go Jordan Tyson. This goes against every other mock you'll see. So I would love your feedback on this, anybody watching it. But I'm going to take receiver here, and then Nick, you can also tell me your thoughts on this as well.
I mean, you are setting up Shador. You're giving him, he made the tight end they drafted this year. They clicked on all spots. They have the running back they drafted last year. Their offensive line has always been good. Has always been
It's
decent.
usually above average, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. You have an offensive line that's above average. You play in a tough division. You play in a tough conference, but you're kind of pushing your chips in, and you're not giving the same thing I did with Jackson Dart. I'm giving you a weapon right now, probably more in a draft, but I'm pushing all my chips in on you. It's time for you to go cash it. You know what I mean?
You
And
need to,
if Yeah,
yeah,
and if you don't, then guess what? Next year, if we're picking top 10 again, and the quarterback draft is a lot better, I'm probably going to take a quarterback. Right now, you're the one who can prove me wrong. Even if we have a bad year, but you put up great stats, and you're not turning the ball over. Stop flashing your watch. You're not wearing a watch on the sideline. You know,
exactly.
and that's what I would do. So, yeah, I have no issues with that. I would tell you if I had an issue with it. I do believe it's my turn right now picking
It
for
is
the
your
Washington
you got
Commanders.
the Giants and Washington, so
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be my friend after this, man. They You got Daniels coming back off an injury. Uh, Terry McLaurin. I don't know. They. It's hard to get with the Commanders. They had such a great rookie year with everything. They had nowhere to go but up or down. Obviously, they made an NFC Championship game. It's Super Bowl or bust at this point in time. But I think right now you take a little bit of pressure off of Daniels and you go with Love, the running back from Notre Dame, right here.
Ooh, wow. I did not see that coming, dude.
I mean, I think that helps.
Yeah,
Controls
no,
the clock. There's some amazing defensive players right here, right now. This is also another trade back scenario,
yeah,
but he's the best running back on the board, best running back in the country. This is a deep running back draft from what all the experts say. I'm not saying I'm an expert. You know, I'm not going to take a running back from Grambling University because he's a player that everybody likes. I'm going to be a realist. Love is the best running back right now until the season starts and another rookie running back does better.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go Love for the Commanders.
I'm gonna click it for you. It's your pick. Immediate reaction got me off guard on that one, dude. Uh, I I could see that being very valuable, to be honest. But again, I think what stinks for me is that Washington is pick 7, Giants are pick 5. So I feel like the NFC East, they have the ability to
Dallas has
draft.
2.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, I just think my division's gonna be in shambles next year. So it doesn't matter who you picked. I feel like they're all great options. Me personally, I just feel like Arvell Reese is still the best player on the board. I would probably go that direction, but I understand what you're saying. And then if anybody out there watching, like if you pay attention to stuff like this, Love is a huge pick for Kansas
Kansas
City.
City. Yep.
So, this changes Kansas City's draft.
Mm-hmm. They're going to have they're picking up at 9. We're at 7. They're going to have a option between Reese, Bailey, and Sonny Styles and Malachi from USC. Before you pick the Saints, I think they need a kicker. As I said, I'm a Panther fan. Probably a punter would be good at this
Yes.
pick now.
Let's watch it. Let's switch it up to that. Like, if anybody, how it goes, kickers and punters, they go very fast.
Very fast.
You've got to get in on them quickly to get any of those going there.
Get a good one. Yeah.
If you know fantasy football, you know the reference there, and it's all love to the kickers and punters. But
they are people too.
They are people too, exactly. I still think Arvell. This is a weird spot for me. If I'm using the PFF idea of needs. I think Arvell Reese is a more impactful player, but they need D-line help, and I think
Mhm.
you jump next as you go edge on this. I do think they need to think through receiver a little bit. So I'm
Yeah.
halfway on the board with Lemon right now
Mhm.
on this. But being a defense guy, I'm going to go David Bailey, the
What's his
edge
stats
defender.
look like, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no worries. So he improved. If you look at his 3-year trend here, I mean, he ended up with a 93 on PFF,
Mhm.
which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But if you look 6'3", 250.
What about Reese? Because I think Reese is not technically a off. I think he's like a 3-4 linebacker. I could be wrong.
6'4", 243.
So you're, just looking at size, they're almost
Not
the same. I mean,
Yeah, they're not far off.
one's got better, has had more of a competitive um,
Yeah,
schedule with Ohio State and Texas
Ohio
Tech.
State.
Yeah,
Do you know off the top of your head? Do you know if uh, New Orleans runs 3-4-4-3?
I think it's a little bit of a hybrid. Mainly a 4-3.
Let's throw a curveball here. So this is
Well, this is
why
your pick.
it's my pick. I get it, but this is why we do this, and we hope you guys join in on the conversation, add comments, add thoughts, good, bad, whatever it may be. But like this is a great conversation because you've heard me say it already. I think Arvell Reese is the best player on the board.
Mhm.
So now if we're taking a step back and we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, don't take linebacker out of it and
No,
just say he's
I took a safety at 3.
what's that?
I took a safety at number 3.
Well, I just mean like if I'm looking at it, sometimes if you really think about it, linebacker, edge defender, ED, they're not really that different of
No,
players. There may be a difference in how much the team runs coverage, and if you need to be an edge defender that needs to drop in coverage, that's a
yeah,
different ball game than not. But all these defenses now are so hybrid where your outside linebacker is kind of your edge defender in a lot of
mhm,
scenarios. I didn't think this was going to happen, but you kind of gave me a different idea on this. I'm going to take who I think is the best player on the board, and I'm going to go Reese on this
yeah.
with the caveat that it has linebacker as his title, but that could be kind of an outside rush type
Could
of
be a
play,
hybrid, yeah, flex spot.
like a hybrid flex type of guy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that right now.
Well, let's recap these first 8 picks, and
Yep.
we'll save. Next time we get on here, we're just going to basically click them straight through. Start back fresh at pick 9 with Kansas City.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. Oh, it's up here. So
Yeah, because you just picked the first. Yeah, we're good. So I went with Fernando Mendoza, number 1. You've got to get right in that quarterback position. Definitely in that division. That is the best quarterback division. I'm going to say it right now. That is the best quarterback division in football. Okay. You've got Mahomes. Hang on.
You've got Mahomes.
the voice on it.
I'm not a fan of Mahomes. Okay. You've got Herbert.
Now
Hang
here's a guy.
Yeah, here's a guy. And you've got Bo Nix, who's going to be coming off injury, but led his team to the AFC Championship game. Didn't get to play in the AFC Championship game. And I believe if they played the way that game was, it might be a different outcome. Now you add Fernando Mendoza in that division. He did good in Indiana. Jacob's not a big fan. Pull the curtain back. He's not a big fan of him.
Hondo.
But he's the best quarterback, and that's the position the NFL values the most as a quarterback.
We'll go bold for our first post. I think he's soft. That's the only thing I don't dig. I think he's soft. So I'm not sure if he can handle the pressure and the scrutiny of not doing that. And then I think, and it's not his fault, but I think it's going to be really hard to go from a place which was Indiana, they had as far as I know, no national championships
No.
prior to the one they just won. So
Mhm.
it's like in your head, you're thinking, hey, I took a no-name school to their first natty and got that. It doesn't work that way in the NFL.
I disagree with everything says Indiana fans.
Well, you'll let him do it, and you can be mad at me about it. I just don't think it's that easy. But here's the flip side of this, and this is where like what I'm hoping you and I talk about, and then anybody watching this understands is I do think if Vegas puts specifically make sure offensive line is around him,
Mhm.
that he has a chance. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. That's what I want to make that very clear. I don't think he's bad. I'm used to the Raiders taking the flashy pick and then Jamarcus Russell. I think Fernando Mendoza is way better than Jamarcus Russell, but I'm
Mhm.
getting Jamarcus Russell vibes where they're just like, oh, we picked the best player, which is the quarterback, but we don't do anything else to help him. And that's what I'm nervous about for Las Vegas and Mendoza. So
I get that, but you know, Derek Carr came in and he was a second round pick, and they took, Khalil Mack with the first pick. That was a good pick. Then they
yeah,
traded for Cooper from no, they traded Cooper away. Excuse me, they had Amari Cooper there.
yep.
But Mendoza's coming in with Ashton Genty in the backfield already, and he's coming in with Brock Bowers. They trade away Jacoby Myers. They could go in for another wide receiver in this draft in the second round. I don't know what pick they have in the second round. They have money. They could,
I'm gonna stop sharing and then I'm gonna look that up for you.
it's probably a top, you know, but it's look at Puka Nacua, look how late he was taken. Almond St. Brown, he was taken. You can find these guys that put in the work. They
It's
could trade for a wide receiver, and maybe in
it's
a
I think they need a receiver. Don't get
Mhm.
me wrong, or they got Bowers, so they don't really need a tight end. But like if you're asking for offensive help, it's probably a receiver.
Mhm.
I'm saying I don't think they can protect him well enough to even give him a chance.
Yeah, I get
So if they make this pick, I think they need to spend their second round pick on offensive line or during the free agency and all that period. They've got to solidify this line. Otherwise, you're taking a potential awesome. I don't like the word generational.
no,
That's the new term.
yeah,
So I'll call it like you're given a top tier talent in Mendoza, but you're setting him up for failure. Like
yeah,
he's not gonna. It doesn't matter what team he's on. If he
mhm,
can't stand up, it doesn't matter. He's not the end all be all. Like there's not many quarterbacks that can do that anyway.
no,
So I like him and I appreciate him. I think he's a great choice. But I think Vegas needs to take a look in the mirror and say, we've got to do something to help this out.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, I think
Awesome.
that's probably going to wrap it up for us tonight.
Yeah. So we went through 8. So I think next time we'll do what 9 through
16.
16. Yep. So,
Hopefully, do
for
something.
anybody,
There hasn't been a day that we've said this is going to happen. This could be weekly. This could be doubles. Maybe closer to the draft, free agency podcasts. Pro days, the combine, free agency. We'll talk about that. Trade topics. I think there's going to be a lot of wide receivers moving this offseason,
I
other than
agree.
AJ Brown. But I do think there is another big time free agent, not free agent, wide receiver that's going to be traded. He's been traded in his past, and he, as the only player in NFL history, has had his first 10 years of his contract guaranteed.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Dropping some bombs in there. I
Giving a
love it.
little hint there,
Yeah.
DJ.
No. Cool, man. Well, thanks for the convo. Like I said, to anybody that ends up seeing this, we'll post it. We're gonna get on YouTube. I'm on. I still call it Twitter, but X, whatever you want to call it. I'm on there. BYT _Brooks. I'm working with Brown right now. We'll get his squared away at the moment.
And we'll
but
get an email, so you guys send us emails, but leave comments on YouTube. We'll look at them, read them. You know,
think through
I'm
it.
not going to say be nice or nothing, but I mean, grow with us here. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us what you did like. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You know,
my biggest thing is like talk to us like you're talking. Again, the idea is backyard talk. Talk
Yeah.
to us like you're talking to your friends after hanging out for a little while, their game or in the middle of the game, and you're like, you know what? I really wish the team would do this. Right? We all do all that same stuff. So feel free to comment, talk back. We'll respond to those as we can. We'll get a little bit more formal with the posting. I'll share the YouTube channel once we get that squared away. I'll share my Twitter. I'm
I'll
sure
share mine.
Nick will share his as well. Like we can add all those things in. I'm going to try to make blog versions of these on medium.com. So if you haven't heard of that, it's just a post or a place to post blog posts. We have used that previously, so just a different format, more readable than listen to type of deal. So we'll do that, but please engage. We appreciate it. Just remember it's BYT, Backyard Talk. I'm Brooks. I'm out.
Brent,
All
I'll
right.
take it easy.
Later. See you.